They did my Margiela would be, I look like a dad. Look like a dad. Whoa. She got get on her purse, it look like a rat. Look like a motherfucking rat. 300K out of Turks and I'm still in my bag. Slat it, 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 slat it. I'm in a Benz, hop out the Porsche, hop in your friend, after your daughter. Slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat. I'm in the gym, of course, I didn't care. Horse, I'm at the scene, yeah, knock out your boy, yeah, keeping it clean. Maniac, kill him, break with the maniac, kill him, got your team, maniac, kill him, playing the beat. That's at your body like science class, nigga. Give you my word, then I gotta deliver. Bet they gon' know when the slime in the building. Hot as the iron, I mean hot like the skillet. Creeping up, crawling, no, I was just kidding. Gangsta cause you got a body, little nigga. Magazine clip, so you might get your issue. You think you gangsta cause you got a pistol. Bad bad Felicia, good for your body, so they gotta eat it. I ain't you got it, but I'm not a vegan. Flathead to pull up the 100 to 6. Running for 12, then I jumped to the fence. Blood on my bottom like Riley Richie. Thinking my trigger start itching. Right with JT, she say point blank and period. When I aim at you, it's point right no miss. And your grass will come out of your bush. Pick up that trippin', I bet I start trippin'. Bet I start trippin' like I get a wreck. My shine here, crib, keep that slat like a scratch. Slat, slat, slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat it, slat it, slat, slat, slat it, slat it, slat it, slat, slat. I'm in a Benz, hop out the Porsche, hop in your friend, after your daughter. Slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat it, slat, 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 slat. You can't relate. For the hood, I was renegade. Step in the spot, had fish parquet. Can't be a slummy, got bitch boy trick. She wanted the phone, but I left LA. A savage, I bought her my new AK. My birthday, I ran out that STK. We smoke out the building, don't care what they say. Look at the wrist, I done got rich off of politics. Canary yellow, I got a piss. Rich nigga brunch, I had fishing grits. One that big bag, I don't penny. Bitch, hold on, test, come inside your stick. I paid a house for that Glock with the switch. Guarantee me if I pop it, won't miss.
I shot at your mans. None of that shit wasn't planned. I fought this bitch and I'm friend. Both of them bitches that came on my pants. Louis V drippin', little niggas ain't none of my niggas ain't rockin' no bands. He mad at me cause his bitch is a fan. Do what I want and he do what he can. I put that bitch in the fickle phone. Too many vibes, so it's hard to pick a hoe. Came from the bottom, I used to be broke, I was trappin' and I used to trap at the liquor store. I bet it all on the tenderfold. Drop all the pack, that's a give and go. Now when I rap on the track, it's a 10 or more. I'm in the club with the Glock is extended. Tennis so dark, they can't see who was in it. Niggas ain't cashing that, these niggas renting. Why I said we going overboard. Flood everywhere like it's country cord.
I'm in a Benz, hop out the Porsche, hop in your friend, after your daughter. I'm in the gym, of course, I didn't care. Or I'm at the scene, yeah, knock out your boy, yeah, keeping it clean. Drink with a bean, I got your team, popping a beat.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're gonna get the show started real damn soon. Make sure you're reposting the stream. We have a Tokyo Beast giveaway going on right now. 20 people are gonna get to try this game 4 days before global launch. Huge opportunity. Make sure you are mentioning Tokyo Beast in the chat today if you want to take part in that. People and Moses, the Discord server is where it will take place. Onboarding, all of that. So we're gonna get some of you guys into the game. Posting later today. Stay tuned, bro. Alpha today. Alpha. We're just waiting on Big Uncle Scott to get back from the gym, getting his arm pump on, I think, for the camera, so he looks a little better. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's pulling up. Repost the stream. Let's fucking go today, Lloyd. All right. The music not playing? You like can't hear no music? Let me know in the chat if you hear some music or if it's dead silence right now, because we're going to get started real soon. Bro said the music's jamming. Hey. All right, we're still in Discord chat over on this side. I'm going to leave the Discord chat and we're going to start this show real damn soon. I start for an ETA, but that boy is late today. So everybody cuss Stark out when he gets here, all right, during the show. All right? Yeah, thanks, good. All right, Demon, I'm going to see you over there live and central. Ooh, boy. Yo. Let me just say, this is like a proper radio show. You know when you turn the music down when you talk. Anyone listen to like a Jamaican radio show when every time guy talks, he turns the music down? You're trying to just listen to your song and it's like, geezer just wants to chat. And every time you think like he's coming back, he's just back and just saying shit. I've always wanted to be that guy, and today I've lived my dream. So thank you for letting me live my dream. Welcome to the show, though, bro. We're going to vibe for like 2 more minutes. I'm giving Stark some fucking leeway, mate, to be here. But yeah, we got to support, man. Man's in a Ronin gym, getting it in. So you can't hate on it. You can't hate on it. But today I got alpha. I've actually got alpha. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you lot. Alpha. We're going to let you guys know something to do with business development on Ronin as well. And of course, test out the new games, bro. We got games, boys. We got games. Got games on your phone. Got games on your fucking PC. Got games, bro. Anyway, enjoy for like 2 more minutes. And we're going to start. All right. Sound good? Sound great? Awesome. I love you guys. Bye. Wallana. Good morning, welcome to the Ronin Radio, my boy. I'm on the radio right now. We're going to listen to the music and all of that right there, and then we're going to start the show, you know what I'm saying, about 2 minutes. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I actually question how I'm not like clinically retarded, but anyway, carry on. Hold on. We just got some news from Uncle Stark in the building. He said he's waiting for elevator. Yes, I wait for the elevator to go up to his room and all. But once Stark in the building, we gonna start the building. No, that made no sense. I said when Stark in the building, we gonna start the show. All right. I do want to say, though, shout out to all the loyal Ronin Radio fans. You guys are the fucking goats. Hell yeah, it's time, bro. Forget it. Start. We're gonna flame him when he gets here into the fucking show today. Whatever. I mean, I'm back in the best hoodie that I've worn for a very long time, bro. Shout out to the fucking Moku team, bro. Listen, when Moku launches some shit, bro, it's gonna be like an earthquake, bro. Shout out to Hantao. Shout out to Akil. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Bean. Shout out to the whole team, bro. See how it rhymed? I'm basically, like when the music cuts off, like I'll spit a 16 and rap for you lot if needs be. That is the day we will have no content for sure. If I'm rapping, we got no content. But this week, we got shit ton of content on Ronin. I'm telling you now. I do have the all clear as well to talk about some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff that has not really been spoken about. And like we'll talk about that too. And you know what? Back these up. Look into my eyes, bro. I don't need this reflection bullshit. I might hurt my eyes by staring at screens for hours and hours today, but who cares? I need you to feel this today, because these conversations have not been had. I feel like they need to be had, and so I pushed for it. We're gonna let you guys know what the dealio is. On top of that, we got new games on Ronin to talk about today. Also, we've had a few people try out Zverse since Tuesday, as we mentioned it, and I'll give you some reports on that. And we're also going to try the new game Dynamite something. If the name was really memorable, I would remember it right now. But we're going to try that game out today on stream. But it's a special day. It is a special day. Mr. 1437 is in the building, and his daughter just turned 4 years old. So I'm going to need a happy birthday in the chat. All right. She's not here to see it, but I need you to give that energy. So happy birthdays in the chat. 4 years old, bro. It's so precious. We kind of like, you know, we're living alternate lives, except mine's a stepdaughter. But like, you know, they're both 4 years old. It's precious. It's beautiful to see. Happy birthday to Theban's daughter today. GM, what's good, bro?
Thank you, bro. Yeah, you said it was a special day, you know, and then you said 1%. I was like, wait, it's not that special. And then I said, oh, right, it was my daughter's birthday. It is true. It is her birthday. Gonna spend some time with her. We got a little cake planned. Got some gifts yesterday. Yeah, man. Like, life is. All I gotta say is, just cherish life, man. You know, like, there's no point chasing all these like material things when, like, you know, every day, you know, your time is just getting spent away. Like, we don't always know how much time we really got, and just spend it with your loved ones, spend it with the ones that you know, make you feel like you're alive. And those are for me at least, that's my children and my family.
Yeah, facts. Bro, okay. I started somewhere else, and that was very wholesome and very, you know, I love that though. But take that on board today, ladies and gentlemen. We're out here, the grind is real, the material desires are real. There is some fun elements to it, of course, but don't get lost in the sauce, bro. We just had the 2 months prior to this that were probably the most depressive months I've ever experienced in this space, and that is even with, you know, super bear market after the 2021 craze. So it felt bad. So I actually want to vocalize today from my own perspective, and probably your guys' perspective too. I'm like, how difficult it has kind of been over the last few months, and to really have a sentiment turnaround in this present moment, specifically for Ron, but also macro and like the industry at large, is not going to be easy. But I actually see light. Like, I genuinely see light, and I'm going to talk about that today, what I see light from and which direction and what that light looks like. I'll give you a full description. But I think we should start, as we mean to go off, which is by flaming our uncle. He's here, bro. Yes, he made it. Yeah, let's go. Good morning, bro. Oh, good afternoon,
Good morning,
actually.
good morning.
You've been busy. Let's fucking get it. I got two people beside me that are grinding their asses off in Axie Origins right now, which I'm glad to see. I see a resurgence right now in preparation maybe for something, but we've spoken a lot about reward systems in Axie, and it seems like slowly and surely people are trickling back in to Origins. Right now the rewards, we ain't going to talk about it too much, but potentially things could change pretty soon. But seeing these two legends back in the game, grinding away, Steven streaming on Abstract, we're getting Stark on the Abstract streaming bus too, very soon. We're out.
Finn just DM'd me, so I'm online.
Yeah, it's also Finn's birthday, so shout out to Abstract and happy birthday to Finn. What a legend. By the by, lads, the first topic of today. Okay, you know what? I'll let you guys choose. Do you want to talk about BD or do you want to talk about the new game on Ronin? We're allowed to talk about BD, so there's no like pressures.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
I just arrived. I can't decide.
I have a coin. Right? Wait, what the fuck am I actually? I just realized I'm in here.
Yo, Stark, did you notice that Gila hasn't showered in 2 days? He's wearing the same hoodie.
Well, I wear a t-shirt under my hoodie. I can wear it twice, you know, so. God, Jesus Christ, Lord Almighty, you filthy animal.
Yo, so like, I got a coin. Wait, fucking focus. I got a coin, right? But it's It's the same on both sides. So it's not
Is
really.
that like a Chuck E. Cheese coin?
Yeah, it's called Boxcar. It's actually an alcoholic arcade.
I
that's
actually
down
have.
in the downtown.
Oh shit! It's
Okay.
the blood cap.
Yeah, if it didn't matter, I was just flip
Flip it.
that
No, well, I wanted to show it
European
because
ass coin.
it's not a European coin. It's 10 pesos that I keep on my desk because it says a souvenir to the trip to the Philippines last November. But my camera is being all blurry. Does it show? Yes. Well,
Yes, we can see it. We can see it.
For those who, oh god, it's the blurred background effect. That shit.
No, it works. It works. That's the real Web3 currency right there that you've got in your hand. So let's flip it heads. Wait, do we even know what heads and tails is with this?
So if it says Republica Filipinas 2002 10 pesos, that's heads because there's literally 2 fucking heads on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So heads BD, tails the new game.
The new game. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. I mean, chat, I could have asked you guys, but fuck you guys. No, I'm joking. Keep chatting away. We're all giving out 20 positions for Tokyo Beast. It's heads. Okay, BD. We go BD. So let me set a premise here. Ronin hasn't had a vocal, forward-facing business development lead as such for a few months. Of course, we know Kathleen Osgood was in that role before. She left on maternity leave, and during that interaction, something happened. I don't know, we don't have full detail there, but essentially, separate ways, all right? Separate ways. Kathleen is no longer the head of business development at Ronin. For what reasons, we don't fully understand. Either way, the new business development lead is now in place, and it is. Let's think about some things here in this point. Ronin is in a position where spending more money is not that great an idea, right? Bringing in huge names, forking out huge salaries, which, by the way, probably would be market dumping Ron to pay those salaries, right? I know that's speculation. That's not confirmed at all. Just saying that that could be a factor. But spending a lot of money right now probably isn't the best thing to do. Although business development is very important, and Ronin does need business development right now. In particular, I didn't want to see us go and pick someone up and then end up, spending hundreds of thousands on a salary basis for that role in the present. So business development right now is being handled in-house, and taking the helm of that is none other than our good mate, Alex. I don't know if I can call him a good mate. He hasn't confirmed that, but I'm going to just claim mates, all right? Alexander.
Good mates, it starts somewhere, right? It starts by someone calling the other one a good mate. So. Yeah,
someone's got to show card. But Alexander, so we are talking about Psych out here, yes, ladies and gentlemen, has taken the position to join business development. What I'm understanding as of right now, pretty much, it's not like a definitive role. This is more of a team. So, you have Alex and also previous people in relation to business development in the company are there. So it's basically Ash, Abu, and Psych Out are in business development right now. So one, we're not spending extra money on salary to bring somebody in-house. Two, it's like an easy plug-in. I feel like if you bring in a BD at this point, they have to understand Ronin through and through, and that takes a while, and that latency is probably not a good idea either. And then three, Alex, has been in this industry for a very, very long time, a lot of experience, probably a huge network pool, which is very important in business development role. So I actually think this is a good decision. I just don't know how much this takes him away from roles
I just had an interesting thought, because this has become news to us very recently, but I've noticed Psych Out tweeting a lot about meeting with Seb from Sandbox. I've seen at least 2 separate tweets.
He's been tweeting that for 4 years.
For 4 years, bro. Yeah, he has. They've been together
3 or 4 years.
Never mind then. They're just pals, and I'm reading too much into it.
Okay, this one's for you, Theban. Do we let Ronky Rallo have a segment here to yap?
Yeah, let him in.
Okay.
Let the donkey. I mean the Ronky in. Let the Ronky in.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring Rallo on stage. Rallo, I would appreciate the topic being topical here. We are talking about business development. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the chat right now if you're just hearing this for the first time. Obviously,
let's finish this topic and then we'll let him in, right? So he can do whatever he wants, right? So Alex, actually, what's funny is we were talking about this the other day. I was like, wait, I was thinking while we were on the show, what's Alex doing right now? Because I think he was actually working with Kathleen before, because Kathleen was under his team, right? Like, I think it was higher. So they were probably a team to begin with. Maybe he just took on more responsibility, or was like, okay, I'll do majority stuff. Or maybe, Abu got promoted a little bit more, right? Like, his job got heavier and he has to take on some of the other stuff, and they just kind of got leaner. You can't really say that, like, oh, he was doing something else and then now he's only focused on this, right? It's maybe like a mix of everything instead. So there's also the possibility of that. But it's nice to have one of the founders be, if that means like they're more locked in. But like, where did you get this information, or like, did someone post about this?
No, I pressed for it because we've been speaking about it for a while. I reached out to G-Host. I said, look, listen, the silence around business development right now is pretty bad. I think it's people would want to know what's kind of going on, and if a decision has been made, I think we should vocalize it. And he was like, yeah, I think that's cool. Like, here's basically the breakdown, and if you want to share it, then yeah. And I said, well, yeah, next show I'm going to talk about it. I also commented on Voya Games, which is the company that runs the Dynamite Labs. And we kind of continued the conversation. It wasn't like really labored on. He didn't really give a bunch of details and information, but he confirmed that, just so we can highlight that, Abu and Alex are basically running the BD resources right now. So that was pretty much it.
So I guess I'll also ask, have you seen the tweet? Gila got to pick his nose. So he removed his camera for a sec. See, there you go. He's back.
Actually, I had to phlegm out the window. It was a bit more vulgar than picking my nose, but yeah.
What is it called? The tweet. Who was it? Who made it? Rare? I think he made it Rare. He had a finding of like Kenji.Ron, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that. So does anybody
pull it up? If you got it, put it on private.
If I got it, I don't got it.
Okay.
I'm looking for it. Oh wait, this is how well prepared we are for these shows.
Yeah, of course. Well, we should hit. Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, we didn't know where this conversation would traverse to, right? So we didn't know this was going to get drawn. I mean, the authenticity and the real nature of it.
Oh my god! I just realized that's probably not real.
Yeah, that's what I was. As you were formulating the question,
I'm unfollowing. I just realized that.
As you were formulating the question, I'm like, oh shit! How do we know that's even anybody could put that in their bio?
When I went there, I was like, oh, Rare and Trevor, right, is following, and I'm like, hold on, let me take a look, and I'm like, then it just clicked with me that I was like, wait, that's too little amount of people, because I just noticed I went into my freaking messages and it's like this guy DM me. He's like, hello. Partnership lead at Ronin. I came across your profile through a guild partner survey. I was like, okay, no, this is not real.
Oh, you almost got fished, bro. You almost got fished, bro.
Like, let me finish this message again. We ran to find early testers for a new Web3 wallet. We're building. It's designed for speed, UX, and NFTs, and we're looking for sharp users to try out and give us feedback.
Let's confirm the fucking.
Let me know if you'll be interested. I'm like, oh god, what I haven't done, and then I just unfollowed instantly. Oh shit.
Almost. Hey, yo, we almost got him, boys. My backup account almost got Theben. I'll try again next week.
Imagine the head of partnerships at Ronin Network selling you a new wallet.
Yeah, that's retarded.
Did you see who's the donkey now? Rado says in the comments. That's fair.
Fair enough. Hey, you rarely see 1437 slip up, so today is a rare show in itself. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it with business development as of right now. Psych Out kind of working with Abu Ash on BD, and like Theben was saying, I think they were already on there. Yeah, I think he was already in that department anyway. But let's see what happens from that. I mean, I don't know if Ronin will make an official statement from their side too. But speaking with Geos and kind of getting the confirmation that we can talk about this. So you guys that are plugged in have knowledge on that too now. So I mean, share your thoughts. Let us know your opinions. We're gonna probably hear from Rallo in a few minutes or so. But let us know what you guys think on that. I don't really want to transition into a new topic right here because Rallo will coming through. But the new topic, the next topic is going to be about Dynamite, right? Angry Dynamite Lab. Angry Dynamite's Lab. That's too much words. But anyway, Craft World is their game that they've been running for the last year. It's been on a test net. So these are the things I think are interesting about this company. I'm going to put it on stage, right? This is the game. They have this game that existed has existed for over a year. The game runs on like a test net and is like completely abstract with the way that they integrate crypto to this experience. When you first start, there's no real crypto mention. You don't have to sign in with a wallet.
Don't use the word abstract if there's no crypto mention. It sounds like completely abstract. Sounds like it's on.
Yeah, but that's the play on words with the abstract chain, right? Like they're abstracting the utility of crypto with consumer applications. Yeah, yada 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 yappa. But either way, this is a very user-friendly experience because you don't have to go through these barriers that a lot of crypto games will present in the beginning. I played it yesterday for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I got to level 12. Yeah, I got to level 12. So we'll showcase some of the gameplay to you right now. But one of the interesting things where I was going with that is that they have had this game live since last year. They are stating that there are 240,000 players month-to-month basis. They have seen an average of about 5,000 swaps in their testnet wallets daily, every single day. And yeah, on a daily active user base right now, averages out around 5,000 as well. So whether that's every single player is doing one swap, I don't know. But that's the stats and the data that they're giving out right now. G-Host himself actually has invested in the company that is overseeing this. That company is Voya Games, and they actually just raised $5 million US. So this is Voya Games. These things are like important because we've had games that have come to Ronin like quite recently in this open Ronin state. Now I want to say this. I don't think it's an official partnership. This isn't like an official Ronin game. This is Voya Games and Angry Dynamite's Lab coming to Ronin on their own accord. But having raised this 5 million prior means that they're in a stronger position than a lot of the games that we've experienced coming to Ronin this year so far. And yeah, as Trevor said it in the chat, right? Like raising $5 million US in this market is very, very fucking good. Because right now people they're not trying to spend, right?
They sold their last game to Ubisoft for 150 million. It was an idle tycoon game.
Yeah, it was like, which is fantastic. And so why the 5 million then? Right, that's where my mind goes. I know, obviously, of course, you always want to raise to one.
You don't necessarily know the costs involved in the previous things, like if they were carrying that or whatever. And then I don't know, maybe it's different branches, different things. I don't know.
Yeah. The Buddha in the chat says the team knows so much about user acquisition via ads and also have ads in game as their own revenue model, which makes so much sense. They know their Web2 shit. That's facts.
It's those games. It's those you know those games where like you see the ad on YouTube or whatever you're watching where it's like it's shooting at things and the guy's like either has to go through.
Yeah. And you have to watch so many of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So here you can actually play it. It's actually, but yeah.
You get to play.
Sometimes I forget it's an ad, and I'm like playing the thing.
Is it the one? Is it the one where you like tower defense, where you're running around on the horse? Because I've been playing that.
I like the one where I'm killing the polar bears. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're different location. You'd be getting different adverts.
And so you can pick. That's to speed up the bottleneck production, like your earth or whatever the lowest tier material is. And then other than that, you can pay. I think you can pay 20 euros. I think it's like flat.
Yeah,
For good
it's
to
20
not have
US
ads.
dollars.
So that means that they can also, they probably have a very real, whether they say it or not, they probably have a very real metric of how many real users they have, especially now when they have no earnings. So if they have 5,000 people who paid 20 euros to skip the ads, those are real users, because then why would a bot pay for faster progress?
Absolutely, yeah. So big key points to take away here is active for a year already, have some good data in terms of the metrics of players and retention of players, already have revenue models that exist without having to do the usual spiel of a P2A and kind of banking on these crypto factors to make them money and pay their team and everything like that. Have raised $5 million US to move forwards, and they will be expanding. This is Craft World. They are going to expand to a different game as well called Voyager. So there's going to be 2 experiences that will exist, but the ecosystem is still one.
And even
so
for
a lot
ads,
of good things.
Just imagine the ads if they have. If they're able to like partner with whatever game they want, whether it's another Ronin game, to have those ads be. Imagine if that ad, instead of being chopping down polar bears, you're like playing pixels for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, like if they diversify the ads to be like actual products in our.
Yeah. If a game wants to pay for that and then they get that, that could be an interesting. I wonder what the ad market is, right? Like the market rate, right? Like for those adverts, like how much do they actually get paid per view? That would be interesting to see, because 240,000 people, if a lot of them haven't paid the $20, because I looked at the $20 last night and was like, I don't know yet, but I was tempted. Would have gotten it if it wasn't testnet, but apparently the Buddha, who used to be a Wild Forest creator, probably still is, but he was saying, because he's been playing it for quite a bit, and he was saying that he got it after a month, and it'll stay over once the game goes to mainnet.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, they did make a statement on that. They said that everything will transfer over. It's a really cool universe, actually. Like obviously it's just a farming game, and this is one thing that we can talk about. This is the topic that it concerns me a little bit here, but I think this is really easy to bot. Yeah, that's my concern. Like you just need something that comes in here on a timing basis and like claims the rewards and then just restarts the cycles, right? So there's not really much complexities to it in that manner. What facilities that they have to prevent that, I don't know. And I think those are questions that are important to ask at this phase.
We got the Buddha in the chat. Welcome.
That's how I know Theban just zones out when we talk about games now. Like he has a few games that he gives a shit about, and then everything else is just like, I'm checked out, bro. We addressed his comments, and you're like, yeah, we got the Buddha in the chat. Well, welcome. Fuck it out.
How did you know?
Actually, chat. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can fully tell when Theban is checked in and checked out. He also has a second monitor, which he focuses on more so when he's checked out as well. So,
I'm not gonna lie. The moment you started talking about this game, I was just like, I'm trying my best, man. I'm telling you, I'm trying my best to stay locked in, stay focused. But then I see shit like this, and it's just like, I just can't.
What's wrong, bro? Like, this is like, top tier. It's just a farm, bro.
$5 million.
It's user acquisition. They have a proven track record. Those key metrics that these VCs like, they're hitting them. I mean, if we go into the article that they post, right, like they show a lot of the detail around those stats, like active users right now. This is it. Looking at it, monthly active users is just north of 50,000, slightly north of 50,000.
Charts like that don't matter because they can be faked. Next.
Yes. Okay.
Let's be proper.
Trades in game, average trades per minute 42. They actually have tokens that are the elements. All of the resources tie in.
Something else that could be botted.
Yep. Okay, well then I'm stumped.
Trading.
So
keep going.
I'm stumped. I'm stumped.
I need something. I need something that shows me, like, why, how, where, like, how much
We're gonna need to talk to founders. We are
how
gonna
much
need to talk to
liquidity
founders.
they got locked in their game, right? I need. This is what I want to know. Like bridging Web 2
It's
to
on, it's on
Web 3.
testnet. It's on testnet, bro.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
like not even live yet. Voyager is gonna be the
Like,
start of
it's
their
when I look
live.
at the game, like just from the appeal itself, like it's not there for me, right?
Yeah.
Like you lost me at the visual, right? Then
Yeah.
everything else I'm already skeptical on. So if you lost me at the visual and I'm skeptical on the other stuff, then now you gotta like really prove to me why it's gonna work, right? Not like where they're from, who they are. I don't give a shit. We've seen 100,000 teams at this point come into the space, right? Repping their backgrounds and just create the most dog shit product that you'll ever find. And they're the ones who took the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So I need to know why something is on extraction event, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the point we're at.
And
Now,
even like, and especially
Go ahead.
like this. No, sorry. Especially, what does this game get like gain from moving to crypto? If they just have a fun, addictive little loop of clicking and stuff like that, and they have people willing to pay €20 for it, why are they moving to?
That's the thing,
why
right?
integrate Web3?
In Web 2, it's okay if you're a bot or a human, right? There's nothing for you to gain. In Web 3, it's like suddenly you got money that is flowing. It's more incentive for bots, not humans, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the humans who want to participate, sure, they want to participate, but now they're fighting against all of the bots, and that's their main, like...
Yeah, and then the game becomes less fun because their main job is fighting bots.
Yeah. So whoever can answer me these questions, they got my attention.
The Buddha says, talk to Rev, the founder, he will convince you. So the Buddha, tell Rev to come on Ronin Radio when he has a chance, when he is available.
Well, look forward to that in the near future.
Hook us up.
We'll push and press for it, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll probably have that cool conversation later on. And I'd like to see that. I'd like to witness it, and maybe see Theben be convinced, or see a really good debate as to why he is.
I'm actually. We should have that. We should have like a founder debate session. But if I win the debate, guys, okay, it doesn't mean it's FUD, all right? To make sure.
Yeah. Well, we have a founder caliber Ronki here on the show today, so maybe we can do a little founder debate here. I don't know what Rallo wants to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, but welcome to the stage, the boy, Ralito.
The Ronki, the pink Ronki is here.
Oh, bro, can you shut up? Like, the dog keeps barking, bro. I don't know why the dog keeps
Wow,
barking,
he's
man.
using what I said, eh? Rallo, you gotta get creative, man.
Yeah, for context, you should have been on Theben's stream yesterday. If you're not watching Theben's stream, then I don't know what you're doing. But he's live on Abstracts pretty much every day. Either way, shout out to you, Rallo, bro. Welcome. What you got?
Shout out to my boy +1 in the chat.
Nah, you're kidding. +1, the one and only.
Yeah, he's right
bro,
there.
Listen, I started streaming because of him. I used to facts, bro. I used to watch him while I play Axie. My guy, bro, that +1 had some vibes, huh?
Yeah, those DJ streams. Wow.
He was he fleeced everybody selling his Terminators back in the day, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember the Axie, the Terminator. He was the first one to make like the Dusk Termies. Right, this guy was selling Termies for like $1,000 plus or one ETH, and then he took the money, right, because he was rolling in the bank, and then he put it straight into Pegasus.
Oh no!
Why did you just butcher the name as well, bro? Like it's Pegasus.
Because I'm not gonna put Axie in there. All right, I ain't gonna tarnish the name. So we're gonna call it Pegasus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo, but
Facts.
that guy was a beast, bro. I loved it. I love how he streams.
He's still here.
That's a +1.
Nah, but like he doesn't stream anymore. I mean, like as a content creator, I think he was a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, he also owns the biggest guild in Pixels.
Oh really?
He doesn't anymore, but he did own the biggest. Like
I was gonna say, how is that going?
The best PvP guild in Pixels. Like they're called Farm Hub, right? And if you see their logo, it's pretty funny. And yeah, they were destroying everybody. Like they were first by, I don't know, they were like tripling up on second place or some shit.
Bro, that guy's just a
Nice.
beast. Now listen, I like about this game. What's the name called?
Craft World by Dynamite Labs. Angry Dynamite Labs.
So I have a question because something that popped up like 3 days ago when I was talking to Rohan. I don't know if you guys know Rohan, but like
Yeah.
he's a firm believer in Web3, but he believes in Web3 in a way that it's very special, as in, like he expects from games just fun and nothing that has to do with economics or like token management or whatever, right? So I was talking to him. He said like, "Why should I play Maple Story?" I'm like, "Yo, the game is like." It's like 20 years old. It has a lot of content. Like it's very well thought. The economics in the game is amazing. Like I think they work very well. And he's like, I don't care about that, right? Like economics mean it's not a reason why I will play a game. I'm like, but it's a Web3 game, right? Like surely you should take that into account, right? Because if fun is the only thing you're taking into account, then you're playing a Web2 game probably because they're more developed, right? Like let's be honest. And he's like, no, I only play for fun and I just believe in the technology, and that's why I play Web3. And then this like whole discussion started,
Lando.
right? Yeah, exactly. That's the discussion that started. I'm like, bro, you play Sunflower Land. He's like, bro, that game's amazing. I'm having fun. I'm like, sure, but it's economic based, right? So my question and my point and what I try to bring to the table is, do you guys think that Web3 gamers are mostly playing because of fun or are mostly playing because of economics? And if economics is the reason, then why aren't we building games that are focused on that instead of just like trying to be fun? That's the whole question.
I'm gonna make a statement, and I'm gonna let Theban unleash whatever is pent up in him right now. I can see it visually. My statement is that this is the game of life. Web3 is economic based, and that's part of the game of life. And some people, Demon being one of those people, Start being one of those people, the people that play Axie and consider the cost of assets and what decisions they're going to make and all those things. That's a game in itself, and some people enjoy that game. And then if there is a medium in which skill is able to be displayed on top of that game, that's where I think Web3 gamers thrive, when they have this kind of like knowledge diff with the game of economy, and then skill diff with the actual game medium and experience. So that's what I think it ties into, just how we are as humans, the game of life, and that Web3 games can unlock a deeper element of that game being displayed. So, but Demon, take.
Now let's start go. Let him. So
Okay,
he
before
doesn't
start
interrupt me
goes,
in the middle of my topic.
Can you say it in Ronki? Gila, can you say it in Ronki? Like, can you spell me what you just said?
Okay, so human born on human game board. Game of
More
life.
complicated than what you said.
Yes,
No.
yes. It is.
No, you fucking
Game
ronkies.
life? What are you talking?
No, I said on game board, bro. You get born onto the chessboard. You're a pawn, brother. Like, or you're a king, or you're a knight, or whatever. You're born onto the game board, bro.
This is a family-friendly show. Stop talking about porn.
We just spoke about Farm Hub, so I don't want to hear no fucking family-friendly. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay, Ronky style. Human born, human play game. Game of economy, fun part of game for some people. Game of skill, fun part of game for some people. Web3, add two game together. Get more fun. Get money too.
Okay. I understand now. Thank you.
Right.
Sark, what do you think?
Barnes.
Oh my God.
I think that it's. I strongly disagree with the take that anybody would be here just for fun. I think that at the very least you take fun, and you might not care about getting your money back, but you have to you at least take fun in like the trading and the market things. I think that anybody who thinks that that doesn't matter, like it's confusing to me because
He doesn't say it doesn't matter. His point is we shouldn't be focusing on that part, but it's
but who well
Sometimes it's fun in delusion.
yeah well also focusing means it's different things like it's a different part of your team that works on a fun game than it is that are working on the economics and the tokens and stuff like that. So
but
you can do,
usually they collide, don't you think? That usually
in terms of
fun
priorities,
collide.
you mean like one takes
Yeah.
over, one
Yes,
is yeah
yes,
that can
yes.
make sense. Well, yeah,
Because like there's a point in your game that you're designing and it's like, okay, like we should, I don't know, add crits to our game, that should be fun. And it's like, no, this goes against our policy of how we're going to treat our economics. And then who's taking over, like which team is making the decision? Is it
yeah, that's a
the
fair
fun
comment.
or the economic team? You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to hear Theban, and then
Yeah, go ahead, Steven.
I mean, to answer that question, the economic team and the game team should be one team. That's that part, like with the last part that you said. I think this is one of the biggest problems that people face is that normally this is like two different people or two different founders who focuses on that, but they actually go hand in hand in Web3, right? Or else, what's the point? Why not just go on Steam and play a game there? Why not go on like just play the game, the most popular game that everybody, like majority of people like playing, right? Why is it that if you put a Web3 game on Steam, nobody plays it, right? Because there's like these levels of layers and complications that are there that they don't want to like partake in, or maybe they have to buy into. Now, when you tell me, are majority of people here for playing for the economic side or gaming? It's obvious they're here for the economic side because there's another available option there, right, in the world already. It's not like Web3 games are the only games that exist. So if you want to play for fun, there are a lot more polished, a lot more reputable games already in the world. So why are you here, right? There's only one difference maker, and that's the economy. That's the tokenization. That's what
La
it is.
plata.
Now let's talk for real, right? As for Rohan, he's talking about playing games for fun, and that's true. You need those people, because if you don't have those people, nobody makes money then, right? If everyone's here for playing for money, then we're just PvPing each other, which is fine, right? There's a game called poker where lots of people don't play for they all play for money, but they're also willing to lose money, right? That's like one of the most open PvP games for money. Now, as for Rohan is a content creator, and his inflow of cash does not
Come from that, yeah.
it does not come from his result in games. His inflow of cash comes from deals, right? From viewerships and like who wants to pay him to play their game, essentially, right? So I think his take on the matter is like you gotta consider that, right? Like he's not you, where you're playing 20 hours in a game and you're trying to figure out how to ROI with your NFTs and your tokens and all this shit, where he's ROIing just by using his time, using his brand.
Yeah.
Or having good content to make from it.
Yeah, so those are like the wrong people to ask, I would say. You gotta go and ask like your regular gamers, right? Check the people in the chat who don't get deals from different games and different people, and then ask them, are you here to play for fun, or are you here to play for whatever? And then everyone who's in a different place financially is going to give you a different answer, right? But the financials are 1000% tied to Web3 gaming, right? If not, then like I said, there's other better polished, more fun or whatever games out there.
Interesting.
Hey, the ball is on your side of the fence now,
Yeah.
Trello.
No,
Please,
like I agree, right? Like my take is the same, but if that's the take, my question would be, why don't we just embrace it and then make games that are economically very like that
We
makes
should.
sense?
We should.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
tell you
that's my
the
point.
story what happened, right? In 2021, right? This all comes back to 2021. Everything comes back to 2021, right? Because the true thing that started off Web3 gaming, right, was actually Axie,
StarCraft.
right? It was all because of Axie.
It's StarCraft. Yeah.
When Axie, people started seeing how many people are willing to play this, like, let's call it potato game, because that's literally what they called it on crypto Twitter, right? Potato game. Okay. And how much money can be coming in. And then they had this idea. They're like, oh, if that game can get that much, what if we actually create a AAA game? How many people are we going to get? Are we going to get all these people to come in? And then they saw the opportunity of raising a shit ton of money through the people, because now the people were like, okay, how can we get in on this new game that we were not early on Axie to? Right? They didn't want to buy the tops of Axie. They wanted to get 100x, 1000x, 5 million x, whatever they're dreaming of. So they started making all these games back in 2021. All these pitch decks started coming out, and everyone started like pouring all their gains that they made throughout 2021. Everybody was like rich who was there before that time, right? That was like the true golden bull market. They were rolling NFT money into that games too, right? And then they were thinking that the players will come by 2025 because mass adoption will be here, right? And I said this multiple times. None of those guys ever thought, what if the players never come? Mm-hmm. Not once. They all assumed it will happen, right?
That's why a lot of these games died.
Exactly. Because they were all on the track that, okay, in these 3 years, we will be in this position with our product. And then when all the people are here and we have a bigger product, we can have another series to raise money. And then we'll have runway for another 5 more years. And we'll launch another NFT or another token or whatever it may be. And we'll get some more money from there. We'll be alive for 15 years. And then we're going to be golden forever, right? That's literally their thought process all along the way. But of course, life doesn't give you everything you want. And, maybe 2021 was the top of the golden bull market for like alts and all this shit, right? Or maybe we have another one coming. Who knows? No one can predict this shit. Nothing is guaranteed. But now this is exactly why. Because those guys in 2021, they weren't thinking about economy. They weren't thinking that, Axie succeeded because people were able to see how they can make all this money through playing, right? How they can buy these NFTs and do stuff. The other side that were raising and building games were thinking that all they needed was to make a fun game, because in Web 2, that's all they care about. They care about making a fun game that people actually want to play. And that's where most of them are coming from, right? Most of those developers are coming from it. That's all they know. They didn't know the other side, right? So Axie was like this unicorn, essentially.
But what was the differentiator? What was the differentiator? Like, is it the player-owned aspect of the economy, the economics? For Axie that allowed it to succeed in that manner?
The money. I think the money was the differential. That people just were, it was like people were talking. I remember friends talking to me like, yo, you can make like 1.5K a month if you play this game. That was the difference.
Yeah,
it was not fucking Axie being.
That's true.
And on top, it was like, and it's not a bad game. Like that was the comment. It's not that bad. Like you can actually have some fun. That's what I heard. Right?
Okay.
And then you start playing.
I'll be back. You guys you're carrying right now, but keep carrying, all right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the money made the game more enjoyable. Let's be real, right? Yeah. To be fair, the money, because if I first saw the game, I wouldn't play it, for sure, right? If I first saw it, even if I understood it. But the money made it more enjoyable. The thing that really kicked it off was the NFT season. Right? People were loving NFTs at the time because, of the apes and all this stuff. And then they were like, okay, what's the next NFT we want to get? And then there's Axies. And Axies were the first NFTs where you can breed and you can make more NFTs, right? So people's idea that, I'm going to own this NFT, it's mine forever. And, it's got the serial number. Nobody else can have the same thing as somebody else. That's what truly kicked it off for the gaming, right? So when people started buying NFTs and they were taking them off the shelves and the price kept pumping higher and higher, then suddenly SLP started increasing, right? Because the demand for NFTs itself was super high. So that's what, really truly ignited the Web3 gaming Axie stuff, because those NFTs were in mega high demand. at the time, and it was purely off speculation, right? Of like what it is. It was just like the super craze that was happening, and then fortunately for Axie, it was like pretty much. I think it was the only like NFT or a game where you can just mint new ones, right, through breeding at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. Or Crypto Kitties actually, but like.
Oh yeah, right. There was that, but I think by then it was already dead, right? I don't know anything about CryptoKitties, but like I just remember how Axie was.
Yeah, I mean, Axie was the top of the pinnacle.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think like the problem is that we got too lost on this fucking thing of being fun game, and like people just want the next big coin. You know what I mean? And like that's why the Ponzi things are working now, because it's just embracing that people want money and they don't care about like fun.
It's for me, it's a little bit more than that, because it's of course it's that, but it's also a little bit as in like the or at least the positive that might come of it, not why people are motivated by it, but it's like we're talking about economics, and like we need more teams focusing on that primarily, etc., etc. And I think a lot of these the good Ponzi's, so to speak, are just nimble in their way of like testing new stuff, testing new things for the economy, for the token, for the like whether it's buy back and burn, all these different things, or monetizing the experience, etc. And I think that's good for the future. Of that alone means that it's not going to be remembered as like a mega negative, I think.
Yeah. But I was listening in, bro. Shout out to Bluetooth headphones. I was outside, front of the house, bro.
It's
You
not
lot were
called
cooking.
Bluetooth. It's called like wireless.
This motherfucker is running off of Bluetooth. What the fuck are you telling me, bro? Like, what are we on?
Nah, yeah,
Nobody
you're
calls
tripping,
it
Steven.
Bluetooth.
You're having an ego.
They literally call it wireless.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah.
Like, don't call it Bluetooth,
Ego
bro.
trip.
You're like,
It's an
are you
ego
like
trip.
50?
Don't worry, guys.
Well, but it technically
Whoever
no.
says Bluetooth,
A 50-year-old would say a Wi-Fi headphone because they don't use the right words. But
Bro, it's called Bluetooth.
wireless.
it's Bluetooth. That's the technology
I've
at play.
literally
So.
never heard anyone say it's Bluetooth headset.
Its
What?
tooth is
ever.
blue. All right. Its
Yeah,
tooth is blue, so just let it be. Anyway,
Now, what
yeah,
do you
shout-
think, Gila? Can you tell me what do you think about this topic? Like, your honest take, what Theban said?
Bro,
Because I think
yeah,
it's very
but
interesting.
I
You know
go.
what he said, when someone's born, and then there's a breeding board, and then this.
Fuck you. No, I go too broad, bro. I go too philosophical. I go too broad. Like at the end of the day, like why do people want a job? Why do people want a career? You know what I mean? Why do people have fucking, avenues in this world that they can go down? Like Web3 is just another avenue, and people contemplate the factors around it, and then the influences and the desires that come from people to do those things are the dressing and the things that accentuate the experience. So Theban mentioned poker. Why do people play poker? Yes, the majority of poker players do it for a career, right? But that's a small percent. So everyone else that plays poker, why are they spending money to play that game? Is it fun? Is it an addiction? It could be negative things as well as positive things. Like there's so many things that could result into that decision. And not everybody is on the same playing field. So it's just a really complex situation. That is why I mentioned, like, you get born onto this game board, because I think the game of life, we're trying to answer a question that is like in some ways adjacent to a question such as like, what's the purpose of me being here? What's the purpose of me being alive? Right? There's so many different perspectives. There's not an actual definitive answer, and that's kind of as well in many cases the avenues of life, the beauty of them, because you kind of have to give it your own meaning, and then and that's what a lot of people are doing here. It's tough for me to answer as well, because I'm like Rohan. I make content. I don't get fucking deals left, right, and center. I'll tell you that for a fact. But like my medium in which I view games from is from a perspective of like, okay, is this fun? Can I see myself streaming this? Can I see myself having fun with people to build more of a community with this experience? Do I understand it economically? 9 times out of 10, no. You know what I mean? So like those are the things that I look at it from, but my answer wouldn't be the answer to solve the great problem of, you know, how do we get everyone in the world to give a shit about Web3 gaming. I think the point on the table is the fact that we're at like 0.5% of the global population being onboarded and adopting cryptocurrency as a technology and a financial technology. And ultimately, yes, this is a niche within a niche, but the end goal is to have more people adopt the technology. So if Web3 gaming can add levels of fun that increase that percentage, great. Maybe fun works for a certain aspect of it, but if it's the economics of things that make sense to a lot more people and bring people here, then great on that too. So I don't think that I'll abruptly agree that nobody comes here to play Web3 games just for fun, because that is retarded. Because you will play games that are fun and make money and have people with careers around it because it is fun. Right, and the market, the people that are buying that game and buying into that experience day in, day out, are having fun. So that's where you'd go if you wanted just straight fun. Everybody that comes to Web3 gaming sees that there is a money opportunity in some way, shape, or form, an ownership opportunity in some way, shape, or form, and ownership is a form of yielding value. And that's why people come to Web3 gaming. So the argument of I'm here just for fun, for me, doesn't make sense. I think Rohan is an extremely intelligent person anyway, more so than myself as a content creator. Like he understands economy. So for him to say that he's not here for economy actually surprises the shit out of me. I'll be real. Anyway, I hope I didn't burst bubbles, but that's where I'm at with it all.
Spitting facts.
So on that note, Mr. Rallo, stick with us. You can join us in the conversation. We actually are giving out 20 Tokyo Beast codes today for people to play that game, which,
Beautiful.
hey, for a game that we don't physically contribute in turn on turn, in a turn-based automated battler of sorts, that shit is fun. I'm surprised at how much fun I've had on an auto battler, right? So if you talk about elements of fun, there's one for you. But if you want to take part in Tokyo Beast today, I have 20 opportunities for people to play. You have to join the Moses Discord, so make sure you guys do that. It's in the link in our bio at the Ronin Radio on X. Join the Discord, and I will be onboarding 20 people into the game today. The only constituent is that you will have to make a post when you earn your lottery ticket after playing to 20 stamina. I will help guide you to that point. Make sure everyone understands the game. And if you have a lottery ticket, you have a chance to win one of their NFTs. And the floor for them NFTs right now is like $500. So like to play a game early, 1, for good content, 2, for the information arbitrage, 3, for the opportunity to earn an NFT. That is happening today in the Moses Discord. So if you want to be one of those 20 players, make sure you participate. We actually have a post on my Gila account on X, so go and find that and you can take part there. But Rallo is entertaining the kids right now, and I'm entertaining you kids in chat. But if you're excited for Tokyo Beast, let me know in the chat, and I'll make sure you are whitelisted essentially for that experience today. But yeah,
the game is very good, by the way.
Very good. The game is really good. Tokyo Beast is. I think it's actually going to cause disruption in this industry because of how fucking good it is.
I agree, and I think they like accepted the fact that people don't want to play as much. Like they don't want to be like. I think people. Well, keep going. I don't want to rant, but like, yeah, people don't want to spend that much time into games anymore, unless the pay is really, really high. So unless you want to like pour some money in and rug the show like Theban did, that's bars right there. That's
he is
spitting bars.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has been rugging a lot recently, Theban. I think I'm rubbing off on it.
I think he's just taking his daughter to bed. So when you're overthinking,
yeah,
you're obsessed about rugs, guys.
My point is like, you either put a lot of money or you kind of make an experience where you're not asking the player to spend like 1 million hours playing the game.
Yeah, I've always been a bit of a proponent for that because we're just so busy, and especially when there's like so many there's games in the space, but also it's just it means, especially for MMOs. That's why like I'll always have that. That's my bearish side for Web3 MMOs, etc. It's just that it's like it's just so unhealthy. I just hate any game, whether it's Web3 or not, that makes you feel like you're losing out if you step away from your computer. Like that's not That's not the, like if you need to be playing 20 hours and the moment you step away, someone's like stealing your money. I don't know. I don't like that. And I don't think it should have the space that it has, or that's,
Yeah, I agree. Like
we have
Axie
too much
had that
shit to do
part
in life.
where Axie had that part where you like, if you really wanted and you wanted to like invest and lock in, you could go like 3 days before the season end, put the fucking money in, talk to your wife like, yeah, I need 3 fucking days. I'm like dead for 3 days, and just grind and do it, And I think that was a nice part about Axie, and I think that should be included in every game, as in you should be able to invest a lot of time in a short span, or just small time in a long span. But like not.
But it's interesting with
both.
Tokyo Beast though, because it's every week there's the penultimate tournament, right? The game is operating week on week, and I think this is an aspect of games that will be good in this industry, because mind share retention is constantly being fought over.
Bam.
Yeah. So like if you know something's happening every single week, like you make it part of your weekly routine, and yes, like you said, you dedicate a small amount of time and it's quite passive. Like the focus is like maybe 2-3 hours worth of like deck building or like team crafting with the beasts, and then the rest of the week you kind of like simulating results. But they add this element where you can't just do that and just one up everyone for the rest of the week. There is this stamina element. It's very, very interesting, and of course we're going to be onboarding people today. So if you're in the Moses Discord, you could be one of those 20 that's going to get brought into the game and have a chance to win some of their NFTs. So that is happening today. Make sure you guys are participating. If you haven't already played this game, I'm telling you, you need to try it. It's going to broaden your knowledge on like what is happening in Web3. You can also take things away from these good games and vocalize them here in Ronin, and maybe we can adjust or invite experiences that are very similar, because I think this is a good formula for some decent results. But I want to move on. I want to talk about the language that's been spoken out quite heavily recently, to do with, let's be real, like the mind share right now in crypto Twitter, broader than just Ronin, is very much to do with things like Kaito, the cookie.fun, right? You've seen a lot of people talking about virtuals as well, their Genesis thing that's happening. I haven't gone into full detail on that. We got people in the People of Moses Discord who are very much on board with that. And specifically a post by Geos that addressed those things, right? So he spoke about Kaito being a top funnel awareness incentive, rewarding for driving awareness. So we're talking about distribution, right, of rewards, distribution of tokens, because ultimately, the tokenization of things using the blockchain, and the distribution of those tokens is one of the reasons why we're here. It's one of the reasons we play the economic game that we play in Web3. Kaito rewards this on an awareness driver. So if you're driving awareness of things, you have an ability to get rewarded. It's a top funnel. Virtuals is a bottom funnel because it has incentives for rewarding when you hold tokens, and you behave a certain way that isn't like pumped up fun, where you're just trying to catch a quick move and then dump on anybody. You don't give a fuck. There's no care really given there. And they speak about this middle layer, something being in between those two things. I tried to wrap my head around it, but ultimately, what I took from the post was understanding that, okay, these are two mechanisms to reward people, but there's like a dropout on both of them. And what G-Host is mentioning here, and what I imagine is being focused on quite heavily right now by Sky Mavis, is this middle layer that they're talking about. He mentions here a unified system that connects top, mid, and bottom funnel activity through a persistent reputation and points engine. And this is something that is badly needed on Ronin. Basically, the tracking of behaviors and activities across the board within ecosystems like Ronin, to be able to distribute tokens in a better manner. So reward users for taking actions at all parts of the funnel, and reward builders for driving actions at all parts of that funnel too. I wanted to know your guys' thoughts. Let's start with Kaito, and that style of token rewarding for that behavior, and what you guys think of that. Personally, you guys will know I'm vocal on it. I really am not the biggest fan, but the game is the game. So as the top side end of the funnel, you guys don't even participate in Kaito, so
I'll say something on it. I think
wait, mic check. You are definitely on some other mic right now. We're gonna do this properly. We've
Yeah,
had a few bad mic
while
episodes.
we wait for Theban, I'm just gonna say it plain. I think it's probably the cancer
Hello.
of crypto Twitter, and the reason why crypto Twitter is in such a bad state right now.
Yeah.
And when AI came out, I remember making an AI post like, this
Okay.
shit is will never be human, and like I got one like, well, I was getting like fucking 80 likes per post. I posted like that AI was shit, that no one fucking interacted with that, because of course no one, it was fucking popping off and virtuals and jai holes. I think it's shit.
the bags.
Yeah, with flooding bugs, but like I honestly think it's shit. I think the whole concept and narrative of crypto Twitter was actually talking to people, and we're not talking to people anymore. It's like fucking autoplay in Twitter right now. We have autoplay on
Yeah, it's
Twitter,
an
and
auto
like,
battler. That's crypto.
yeah, it's
Twitter's
an
an
auto
auto
bottler.
battler.
Yeah, we're having Tokyo Beasts on like
Cue crazy animation.
fucking Twitter,
Yo.
and like it's so boring, bro. It's so fucking boring, and like
Yeah.
every account that has over 50K followers is usually fucking boring. Usually, of course, not every, but like usually they're like fucking Kaido yappers and Laudio yappers and that shit, and it's boring, bro. I'm sick of that shit. You
Yo.
go.
Well, I mean, we can look at Laudio, and that is a fucking shit show, by the way.
Bleh.
Yo, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah,
Wait,
perfectly
Gila,
good now.
Gila rug himself?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want a rug now because everyone's rugging.
He said,
you
"We'll
know?
take a look
Like,
at Laudio," and then he fucked off. Go ahead, T, but you had a point you wanted to make.
Nah, we'll wait. We'll wait for Gila to get back in here. Wait, can he even get back in here?
Laudio is that much of a shit show. I had to just depart for a second.
Oh, was that the joke? Okay, we.
No, it actually wasn't a joke. I clicked a tab to open up the Laudio chart, and it was the same tab that we are in the
Okay,
live stream with. So,
so two things, right? One, Kaido fucked up a lot of things for a lot of people, right? Because I think in crypto, like your reputation and how much reach you had was actually like you can monetize it, right? What Kaido did was these projects now, instead of going to people and being like, yo, can we talk about a project, I want you to post this and this and this, now they just go to Kaido and they just pay them, right?
Yep.
And actually all the creators now stop getting deals. Actually, you probably would have seen over the last couple of months, the creators that you usually see talking about projects don't talk about projects anymore.
Yeah.
You would actually see that, right? And then now it's more like a bunch of Kaido people talking about it, and then they'll put like Kaido in the name just because they want to keep like farming whatever rewards are coming out of there. So suddenly with Kaido, the people who are getting deals before, now there's a middleman, right? And Kaido is the middleman. So that's frustrating for them.
It's crazy how much support it's getting by the very people that are actually being cut out by that middleman.
because
They
don't have a choice.
yeah,
have a
exactly.
choice.
They don't have
It's
a
like
choice.
you either do it or you get sidelined, right?
Yes, you either do it or you don't get anything. You like that. That was
Exactly.
literally your
Kaito's-
bread and butter.
Kaito's a food kitchen. You would take your farm has been taken away from you, and you have to go beg for food now, or you die.
Right. So that's one, right? So and a lot of people posting through Kaido, it looks very inauthentic, right? Like you don't feel like it's truly engaging. So eventually people are going to get tired of it, and they're going to get bored of it, and they're not going to want to participate or like listen to those people. They're going to start muting. As time goes on, people talking to Kaido, I think more and more people will mute them, right? They will look for the more authentic ones, and then the circle will come back to the point where like you're directly going to people instead of like it's gonna come to a point where it's like, oh, it's on Kaido, oh, we're not gonna participate in that.
Yeah, people will realize that the food bank is issuing cancer-ridden food, and they'll have to go back to the farm to get organic food again.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate a bit here, which is like when you say go back to authentic speech, I don't think it's necessarily authentic either. That because a lot of everybody talks about their own bags. And even if someone doesn't talk about their bag, it's almost impossible for you to know if they have a bag or not. As in, like, if they don't have a bag, then you're like he's probably hiding that he has a bag. So for me, all of crypto Twitter is inauthentic. People are only posting about their projects. So that's not that valid an argument, because and nothing
Mhm.
is really authentic out there. Everyone's just
Well,
posting about to pump their
there's
own
a
bags.
difference. There's a difference, right? It's like just the same way, that there's a difference in crime, right? You can steal or you can murder somebody. There's going to be a difference in crime, right? Like if, let's say, a project comes to you, Stark, and they're like, yo, I want you to support this, but you're the only person talking about it, it feels a lot better to support that in different type of ways than like the project is on Kaido and then like a bunch of guys are just like
Yeah,
spam
playing
posting it.
the meta, botting their posts and
Right,
stuff like
because like
that.
there's
For
so
more,
much AI, there's botting, all this shit going on in there, right? Which makes it annoying. Like I'm just
yeah.
predicting what I think is gonna
There's a
happen. Like,
cabal. It's almost like a cabal will form around it, and then no one will.
yeah, like you guys know me, right? Like I made my money throughout my whole life through competing in games, not through like
Mhm.
getting brand deals and all this shit. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of like the other side of it, right? Because it just goes against like who I truly am. But I also know like if I gotta feed the family, I gotta feed the family, right? I'll do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
So like, so you know where I'm coming from when I say this. Like I'm really like I don't participate in this Kaido stuff and all this shit. Like I don't really care. But it's come to a point where there's gonna be a fatigue. And people are gonna like really, really, really hate it. And the people who are making something of it, of course, are gonna defend it to the bitter end because this is their only choice, right? The same way, like if someone is threatening, your work, then you're gonna try to defend it. The second part, the virtuals part that we're talking about, that's a whole nother story. I think virtuals, like I have a lot of friends who are in it, right?
Mhm.
And like I see the P&Ls and all this stuff.
We're back.
But remember one thing about virtuals and what they're doing is that the money that you see on your screen, that's shared, right? So everybody in virtuals, you're sharing that money with everybody who's in that token, right?
Mhm.
Whatever your P&L is. The moment one person takes profit, that amount goes down, right? So they're in this situation where it's a bubble forming, essentially. And I just pray that like the people that I know will actually take profit at some point and like be satisfied with what they get instead of like, because it's gonna happen, it's gonna pop. It's just like everything else that we've seen. Every freaking thing that we've seen in crypto has always bubbled up and popped, right?
Yeah.
Even in the real world with like housing markets and
Mhm,
everything, like everything pops at some point. It's inevitable. So like both of them, I think they don't really have legs to stand on, realistically, right? I'm not trying to be cynical here or anything like that, but it's like that's just reality. I don't want to like boast something that, to be fair, is just like temporary.
Yeah,
So
unrealized.
yeah, yeah. So then, what do you feel about, or how do you approach then this discussion around a middle layer that connects the two and is obviously leaning towards the ideology of I guess this reputational score for more activities than just those specifics to distribute rewards?
Yeah, I think there's elements that are good for your project. Like you said, like the middle layer, yeah, I get it. It's more so like just taking what's good from each one and involving it like
Mhm.
into your project and just building on it, but not like getting to a point where it's like, oh, this is the best thing in the world, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Like just fucking I still think the whole virtual is like, okay, you stake, you keep, you get more points, you get more access stuff. That's amazing, right? And then the other side of it is like talk about the projects, you get some points, awesome, right? Let's create a healthy ecosystem.
I
That's
view
fine.
like I'm having like I view it also a bit like it's almost like it's got value because of how it's experimenting and how it's allowing other projects to like grab something from it. I think like almost like what I was saying about the Ponzi stuff. It's like they're moving so fast in a way that big projects can't when they have investors and stuff like that. And when you were saying about the middle layer, like I think like specifically about Jihos's tweet. Like a lot of people have been talking about that. They've been talking about like some people have been talking about reputation layer since 2021. Just like finding a like solve that thing on chain to airdrop more to people who will hold it longer, who will stay in your ecosystem longer, and who have like the track record on chain of doing it. So it's something that obviously will add value to any ecosystem. The thing is, how will it when will it be done? How well will it be done? Who will implement it? And those are the important questions if it even does come about, you know. So if it's in 5 years, then yeah, well,
fuck me.
fuck's sake, we're dead. We'll be dead by then, given how fast crypto Twitter moves and crypto moves.
Yeah. No, I think you guys are right. The reputation idea has been on the table for a long time, and we are still kind of really yet to see a fully fledged product that's utilizing it. And you know, this is Ronin Radio, of course, but you know, we're not going to be oblivious and ignorant to the realities around us. I think if you look at models that do exist that kind of are harnessing some sort of a reputation model, you can look at, you know, things like Abstract with the experience points leading towards their TGE. But the problem with that for me is that it is a TGE and it's not a, you know, a live token. So then it's like the reaction post reveal of those rewards being distributed is something, an environment that, you know, it cannot be predicted as of right now. But you can see how much that drives engagement. You can see how much that drives users towards such a platform. So I think there's a lot of good that can be had from it. There's also the other side of the conversation. The polarity of this is people being like, oh, so we're just going to do like social credit scores on chain, pretty much. So that idea and conversation, you know, will be entertained by a lot of people, if especially those that are probably not in the collectives of like, you've done good actions, right? Like if we were to implement this and you were to be categorized as someone that hasn't done enough, essentially, and you feel like you've been here for 4 or 5 years, you feel like you've done a lot, feel like you should have a good reputation, and the system says that you don't, you know, I feel like there will be a lot of disgruntled conversation that comes from that. So it's a really difficult topic. It's
like, what is the definition of a good participant? Who gets to decide that, and why should they be the ones who decide it? And
then we get back to this conversation, lads. Who the fuck cares about governance, right? Because how do we implement that, bro? How do we fucking implement that?
We already have this middle layer stuff. If I do recall correctly, we do have Axie Score, right?
Yeah.
We already had something like that. We just
and the badges
really didn't do much with it.
But there's no distribution. I think that's why there's no
that's
focus.
the problem, right? Because like let's say all these NFT guys and like stuff started coming in, right? They didn't like hand out those like whitelist spots through Axie Score, right? Why not? That there was ways that you could have monetized it, right? But it was a missed opportunity. Now someone else is doing it, right? Like the whole thing with Kaito and Virtuals is that they monetize something and and it was on crack, because Kaito pretty much took out all the marketing agencies and became the middleman. Right, and now it's like all projects come to us, and we will pay people out, and we will take our cut. That's what Kaito became. Virtuals is pretty much meme coin trading, but with delay, right? Because if you sell, then you cannot get any more for like a couple of weeks, and you're worried that you might miss the entire cycle. But at some point, all of them will dump at the same time. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's gonna be horrendous.
Right? Like bubbles, they don't pop like, you know, like a small little pop. They pop like it's with a bang. Right, and that will eventually happen. Like we saw that even with Axie. Axie was the same thing, right? Back in 2021. So if you really want the attention of people, you do need to create something that is literally on crack, and you got to go not only mega all in, you need to attract like the liquidity that's in crypto. It's not only about mass adoption. If you're trying to fight for the attention right now, you could even build something right now, but if you don't get that attention, it could be useless for like 10 years. It's definitely possible. Look at all the games that we built, and again, like the people right now that are here, they don't give a shit about those, and that's why they die off. So
I think a good question to lead this conversation further forward now is to ask you guys specifically, like, you're in charge, you are the one that defines. What would you do? We're going to target it around Ronin, but what would you do for Ronin to implement this middle layer and incorporate a top and bottom layer in Ronin that would actually, one, raise liquidity or like high value users on Ronin, and then 2, reward historical users of Ronin products since token launch in 2022.
Yeah, I'll go first, I guess. The first thing I would do is I would take like all the accounts who are staked Ron or whatever, right? And I would try to prioritize any kind of token allocation whitelist mints to those people. Like, let them opt in, right? So let's say, let's make a Ronin Radio NFT, right? And there's 1,000 of them. What we'll do is like we'll give the option to the highest Ron holders, right? And they could have dibs on opting in and committing Ron to those NFTs, and then whatever's left over, then you can give that away to others, right, through the community, or it can then become first come first serve or whatever. So instead of like it's like a guaranteed whitelist, but you give the option to, like, let's say the highest Ron holders, this X amount of percentage or whatever. So let's say anyone who's staked over 5,000 Ron, right? You give them the first option, and then it'll be like on a launch pad, and then it'll be like, okay, oh, I see this. I got access to this. Let me go and book that. So now we're giving incentive for people to actually keep their Ron staked, so they can keep getting these opportunities over and over, right?
Yeah.
And if they did that from like the very beginning, it would have been amazing, because there were projects like, for example, Ragmon. Ragmon was one of the most sought out in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine that actually went into the hands of people who diamond hand, as we call it, right? Maybe the project would have done better. And maybe those guys who are diamond handing Ron would have had an opportunity to ROI in different ways, right? And then they're selling into the paper hands, and the paper hands are buying at a higher price, right? So it's like, I think that would make a lot more sense. Same thing with the Axie score. I think if people have high Axie score, they should be able to have access to these like other kind of whitelist mints.
They barely scratch the surface with that when they give whitelist to. The only thing they do is like they give whitelist to Mystic owners, but there's like so much more to be done with that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you remember another amazing idea, right? Fableborn, right? So they do the marketplace Ron thing, right, with Fableborn.
The raffle, yeah.
The problem is with that is people come into the ecosystem, they buy Ron.
Oh yeah. And
they stake it. Then the moment the event is over, they dump it. We saw Ron go from $1.40 to like $1.20 as soon as the unstaking happened for Fableborn, right? It was like instant or something like that. So instead of rewarding that, why not reward the people who have, like, at least a large portion of it go to the people who are staked, and it's like over time and the amount staked, right? Like some kind of a formula that gives them a point system, and then give whitelist, or give, like, if those guys opt into that mint, then there'll be a raffle for those guys, instead of just coming in, staking for 3 days, gets dumped, and then they're out.
Yeah. No, I like where you're going with that. That makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to think as well. Like it fires something in my mind, which I contradicted myself on. But like adding those parameters, like what's the possibility of having an asset class, like a token asset class, that is like ownership is determined based on constituencies, and like there's a contract that's understood that if the constituencies aren't met at any point, the ownership is forfeited, essentially. Like you'll recoup the mint price or whatever. But so you're saying, having the ability to get involved in that mint is like whitelisted for those who have diamond handed in the past or are holding or staking a certain amount of Ron. What if there was a token class that you could mint with the constituencies, and it's a smart contract that when those constituencies aren't upheld, ownership is forfeited?
What kind of constituencies those? Like as in hold Ron for a week instead of a day, or
no, like
more?
5,000 Ron staked, like as a definitive, and as soon as you unstake below 5,000, ownership is forfeited.
At any point in the future?
Yeah. And that's why I was contradicting myself. I was like, okay, well, you're just kind of pumping this bubble up even more, that at any point people say, you know what, I don't want to hold Ron anymore. Yeah. All the NFTs then suddenly become non-owned. There's a market that doesn't exist because nobody Now, once it probably has like
Then
a
there's
huger explosion.
It's just the whole ecosystem collapses.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, how do we do housing market 2.0 with NFTs? So but it was kind of like led down that line.
What's for sure is that that whole thing needs to be explored more, pushed harder, and yeah, it's, I don't know. I feel like it almost feels like no one's really talking about it. Like even feels like we shouldn't be the ones feeling like we're having novel ideas in this show right now in 2025. That's the first time a lot of us are hearing these thoughts out loud, and I'm sure, like I know Sky Mavis is exploring these things constantly, hopefully in private, but also almost kind of getting depressed that this is us talking about it now, and then it's like, well, I know I'm not the smartest person in crypto, so why are we
Yeah, I think it's probably a case more so of like the public facing conversation, that these conversations are definitely happening.
Yeah, but this is a super easy conversation to have in public, because it's just like you don't even have to say. We just want to say it's like the is it Lincoln who goes like, we want you, and it's just like, we want to reward you better. How can we do this? This is like the easiest and best and most, like it is like it's a win-win conversation to have in public, because you can just be like, like you can practically engagement farm it. So it's such a positive conversation.
I have a question. Doesn't it like happen to you guys, or like doesn't it cross your mind that like you would want to reward your loyal users, but at the same time, it's not smart from a marketing perspective? Like, like if you want new users and new liquidity to come in, you should be rewarding new users, right? But at the same time, you would want to reward users like ourselves that have been grinding for 5 years. So what's the, like, how do you deal with that?
This is the thing. This is the magic that is about Web3, is that we're the best marketers for the games that we play. The players are the best marketers.
I agree, but I'm saying, because this is mainly because of the creator program, right? Like, in the creator program, this same thing happened. It's like, go.
No, well, it was more about like, and it ties in a bit also about like the whole discussions we've been having in the previous shows, with like what Steven saying, like go less wide, make winners. If
FOMO.
Make your loyal players winners. They're your best marketers. They will post shit, like, and then people will come when they see that you can make fucking bank again.
FOMO.
And especially if you can make bank. More bank if you're more loyal, more like a better Web3 citizen, or however you want to fucking put it, then that's win-win. Because you're encouraging good behavior.
It is
whatever the fuck good means, but
it is difficult. There's definitely like a weighing element that has to happen. But yeah, we've said it before, like in the approach more specifically to reward distribution in games, and how stop going wide, go small, go to the top percentile, make them winners. Those winners will be vocal, the most vocal, and they will cause FOMO. So FOMO being the mechanism of marketing, I think FOMO is an amazing form of marketing, and it's a proven case. But then there's also different elements of marketing or mechanisms that you can use. I think one thing that is specific to Ronin right now is more so this conversation around like high value users, and I don't mean that to devalue anybody that is already a user on Ronin, but if we're being blunt and we're being honest, and here in reality, a lot of the users on Ronin are not heavy liquidity providers, are heavy volume holders.
You're all poor. Just say it. It's fine.
Rice farming ronkies, so like there needs to be another approach for that. And I think even if I'm a huge whale and I see like a gamer winning big, right? Like then I can do some math and be like, okay, well, multiplier, then winning big is like a few $1,000s, which to me is like a small percentile of yield, right? Like, so there's different categories of marketing that have to be served outwardly. And I think this middle layer rewarding system actually can tap in to incentivizing those types of people as well. And even down to the point of like, okay, if you're using blockchain data, analyzing blockchain data, the actions of wallets and the actions of people in the space, like there's a way in which you can uncover, activity that hasn't actually directly contributed to a network, but can be rewarded in a network, right? Like that's where my mind starts to think about, okay, can we do like some kind of middle layer that actually acts and serves as like a recruiting incentive as well to bring more of the liquidity here, and then the magic, which is being deemed as magic. I don't know yet because it hasn't really been tried and tested, but the ERC20C token as well for some form of like constraint around, of course, what could be liquidity extraction, right?
You know what, man? I'll tell you one thing. There's one question we got to ask ourselves. Who, in everything, there are winners, right? Let's just say Ronin is like a PvP field, right?
Mhm.
Who's winning right now?
The bots and
It's,
the early validators.
Is that your answer? Yeah. Do you think some games are winning as well, right? Devs, right? They've got their money in the bank. They've sold some. Rallo's muted, by the way. Yeah, there's a fucking donkey right here. All right, there we go. I can see him. Yeah, I can see him barking, but I couldn't hear him.
I don't think a lot of devs are making the money. I think like maybe a couple
Yeah,
might
the smart
made some
ones.
bags, but like I think most of the money is going to nerds.
Yeah. So if I'm Ronin, I would ask. This is the question that I would ask. I would be like, okay, who's winning? Let's figure out. They have all the data. We're not us, right?
They know who's winning, brother.
Exactly.
Sorry. They already
you gotta. So if you're really about like, okay, how do we expand and so on, you gotta look at that, and then you gotta think, okay, how do we redirect that? How do we redirect that to the people who are actually can bring attention to the ecosystem, and do that, because that's what this is all an attention economy game at the end of the day, right? Even Jihos said that multiple times. So like we're clearly not doing things the way that should be done. Someone Quazing wrote, Ronin need Dota 2 or LOL or any esports or real sports talent around the world to market Ronin. Listen,
The Quazing life.
listen. I was a professional Dota 2 player for like 10 or 11 years, okay? People knew me. The moment I came into crypto, I got fucking like blacklisted from everything related to Web 2. Okay? That's just how it works, bro. They don't like, you think that's how it is. There's such a huge taboo on crypto. Like they don't want to partake in that. I know back in 2021, I was talking to like a bunch of Web 2 organizations who were like esports organizations, like big ones, who wanted to like get into crypto, right, and crypto gaming and stuff, like especially Axie. But then like when they saw the bubble pop, they all like were like, oh, okay, hold on, we can't do this anymore. They almost top blasted. Not even joking you. If that shit lasted enough, if they were able to sustain that for like another year or two, like in that way, like then maybe we could have had adoption. But it wasn't the case, and they were like, okay, this is not something that's ready yet. So, and even to this day, it's still in the same place.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah, bro. Nice depression at the end of the show. We appreciate it, bro. We've been here for an hour and 40 minutes. It's a long one today, but I hope, we had some conversations that unlocked some areas of your brain today. Fuck me. You're going to be smarter for Ronin Radio. How that happens, I don't know. But shout out to you, Rallo, for coming through and joining the convo. Always welcome to do so. Appreciate you coming through. And yeah, the initiative today, we're going to be streaming a little bit later. Happy birthday to Theban's daughter, so he's probably not going to be around, but we are going to be streaming Tokyo Beasts. If you want to get involved, that giveaway is going live, right? Well, it's already live. We're going to pick 20 people to get involved. That is the agenda for the rest of the day for me. Anything from you, Start? You going to be streaming, Axie? Anything like that?
I think I'll pop off the stream right after the show. I'll have a bite to eat and then stream.
Cool.
Stream some Axie Origins.
Mr. Pink Ronky, you got anything to leave us on? Because I do know rice farming is very much around the corner. I don't know if you want to push anything over on this side, Mr. Pink Ronky.
Not yet. No. When it's ready.
Okay. Ooh, nice and ambiguous. Yeah, here's some announcements for next week. We'll be talking to some developers here on Ronin, kind of uncovering what is it like in an open Ronin. Is open Ronin as open as you believe? We also will be talking with G-Host next week, so maybe we can have that public front-facing conversation and push it a little bit further. Demon, I know you was about to say something, so cool.
No, I wasn't really.
Remember to bring diapers for Theban. He's gonna shit himself.
For what?
You're not gonna tell G-Host that, right?
Tell him what?
Everything you just said, bro. Facts. Just facts.
I mean, if he's here, I will tell him exactly
Okay.
as it is.
Okay, I'm gonna be watching, bro.
He's gonna tune in next week. Hey, it's gonna be spicy, ladies and gentlemen. But yo, listen, we appreciate you every single time for coming through to the show. Shout out to all 400 people.
Why are you pissed? Why are you pissed, bro?
No, I mean, what I want to say was like, it's not really, dark or doom or gloom. It's more so like reality that we just need to accept that it is what it is, instead of like being like, no, that's not how it is. No, it cannot be. Oh,
what?
The thing is,
nah.
if you accept it, you can see what it is, for what it is, and then we can actually move on and work on what the real problems are, right?
Yeah.
And this industry,
The truth will set you free.
This industry is a giant casino for the time being, right? One day in the future, that's why we're still early, it will evolve into something more. That is true. But for now, you still have to play the game that is happening, right? Like, think about Chains as like a participant in a giant PvP. You have to think about like, okay, how do you position yourself? How do you want to play? Not only for the future, but for the immediate. So what I'm seeing though is Ronin is making changes in the meantime, right? Especially in the background. I'm having some conversations and like I can see, the Sky Mavis team making changes. The way that they're approaching it, the way they're talking about stuff, they're making changes. So I think personally, I feel, like I said this, I think 2 weeks ago, I feel more bullish today than I did right before Open Ronin, or even like a year ago, actually. Because I feel a year ago, they were going in the direction of, oh, let's go wide, let's do this, distribution, and then blah, 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 blah. And I was not happy because I saw what's going to happen now happening. And I think they've got to the point where they realize, okay, that wasn't the play, and they're changing. But this time, even though price is probably at one of the lowest it's ever been, like I actually have more confidence. So I'm actually the opposite of what you would imagine for the time being. Of course, the opportunities aren't there like it was before, but these are the times where I feel is the best to build and like really, put together a small group of like strong-willed individuals, and then these guys are gonna be the ones who are gonna be feasting, when things do turn around.
Yeah. Actually, I wanna like enhance that for real, because like I'm not bearish. Like I need that to be understood. Like I'm really not. And yeah, like you said, there's things seem to be cooking up behind the scenes. The language is different. The absence is I believe that due down to building. Like the shit's being cooked up, so they don't have as much time to be front facing right now. And I'm definitely not bearish for sure. Like if you look at the reality, I think we're sitting in it right now. The reality is a lot of games have kind of shut down. It leaves an open pathway for those that are doing well, still have things up their sleeve. And I really do feel like a sentiment change could happen with certain things actioned upon. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will feel a little bit depressive, but I'm very much not. I'm excited for the rest of this year. We were just over halfway now. So the best is yet to come. Get in the second half, clutch up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, in the meantime, you guys enjoy the fucking week. We'll be back next week. Like I said, 2 good shows to come. And of course, for the rest of today, we're going to be tuned in and playing some Tokyo Beast. So if you've not even seen Tokyo Beast, you want a quick look into what that world is. Well, we're going to show you that. We're going to give you a little live broadcast of what the game actually is. So if you're interested, stick around. Here's a video for you. Shout out to everyone. Thank you, Stark. Thank you, Phoebum. Thank you, Ronky Rallo, for being here, bro. We'll be back next week. We love you all. And yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Okay, shut up, everybody. Get the fuck out of here. I'm kicking you all off stage. Goodbye.
Peace.
5 things you need to know about Battles of Tokyo Beast. How can you gain advantage over opponents and progress in battles? In this video, we'll introduce you to the essential points of battle within Tokyo Beast. The basic rules are quite simple. Battles are carried out in 4v4 auto command. Assemble a party of 4 beasts and start the match. Achieve victory by wiping out the opponent's beasts. Reduce their hit point to 0 and defeat their party. So, what's important to progress through battles with advantage? Pay attention to the following key points we'll go over. Point 1. Use stronger skills. Let's talk about the beast's skills. Beasts are made of 4 components, which are called skill parts, each possessing its own skill. The head possesses a passive skill, which will only activate when the beast is assigned as a leader. The other 3 parts possesses active skills, body being the strongest, followed by back and tail. Also, the beast's condition can make it easier to activate powerful skills. The beast's condition depends on the personality and the battle situation. Understand the 4 personalities to gain an advantage in battle. Point 2. Evaluating compatibility. There are 6 types of beasts: Dragon, Furry, Cthulhu, Mero, Pixie, and Harpy. Dragon. Dragon is an attacker with offensive skills. Furry. Furry acts like a tank, often having high hit point and excelling at self-defense. Cthulhu. Cthulhu specializes in inflicting status debuff on multiple enemies. Mero. Mero serves as a healer, tending to have skills that heal allies. Pixie. Pixie plays a supporter role, often possessing skills that support allies. Harpy. Harpy can inflict status ailments on enemies. Each type has its own compatibility. By combining skills and conditions, you can maximize their potential. Carefully select your beasts and strategically use their skills. Point 3. Formation and action order. The formation of beasts will be lined up in order of slowest to fastest. Beast at the front of the formation is more likely to be targeted by enemy attacks and receive ally buffs. The action order is determined by the beast's agility value. The order of beasts can greatly influence the battle. Strategically construct a formation to dominate the battlefield. Point 4. Strengthening beasts with mods. Mods are equipment items that improve and customize the beasts. Rare mods have significantly greater enhancement effects. A single mod can dramatically increase several status values. Based on the characteristics and conditions of the beast, which stats would you boost? Customize freely and build your own strategy. Point 5. Master the Shuhari. Shuhari is a minigame that activates during the game. As you take damage, the Shuhari bar will fill. Once conditions are met, the minigame begins. Time well and press to activate the Shuhari skill. Success will trigger a special skill that can turn the tide of battle. Additionally, there's a chance to upgrade to an even stronger Shin Shuhari. You never know the outcome of the battle until the very end. Engage in thrilling, strategic battles. What beasts will you use? And what strategies will you choose?
All right. You can all fuck off. All right, if you're still here, I'm telling you, fuck off. Bye.